here's where what we need to ask. If you're this guy and you are out there right now, and this is an oh shit moment because your picture is now going to be plastered all over every newspaper, every television station, every podcast, everything in America, what do? Is there a threat to the public? If Nancy Guthrie is still alive, does this help her? I mean, obviously it helps her if they can catch him like ASAP, but does he panic? Like, should there be a message coming soon from the FBI? Like, don't do anything, I don't know. How do you handle this?
I would say it could go either way, but I would think it might help Nancy. It gives me great joy to think of this person squirming, even though his squirm is nowhere as frightening as what Nancy went through. However, with that backpack being that packed, I'm wondering, did he bring a tarp or a blanket or something? Because, Jim and I know too well how hard it is to move a body, but it's a lot easier if you have a blanket or a tarp.
A tarp.
That's how hunters do it.
I was thinking for a second, maybe if like the remnants of the Nest camera got these shots, the remnants of it got him leaving, but that's not what happened. The Nest camera is still in its spot. The Nest camera did get pictures of the perpetrator. It's just, and he did remove the camera. It's just something in the system. Even though the sheriff told us at a presser, he was told by the company that they hadn't gotten it so far, but he said, we're asking them to continue checking. They hit pay dirt. They got the gold, you guys. Like somehow the system did still have this.
Megyn, do you think this is what they were looking for in Nancy's house last night in the dark? Was using oblique lighting, like I talked about at the top of this show, to try to identify any of this vegetation that might be on the floor where boots were, or where he keeps his shoes, or in closets, or anything like that? I think that might be something.
That's a great question. Like a face mask? Or boots. I mean,
I would say the face mask is gone. I would guess, because of the situation and because how big it's gotten. No matter what has happened, my guess is he would have gotten rid of a lot of this, but Fitz would know better than I would. However, if he's not a really fastidiously clean person, we'd be able to find some of that foliage in that house.
But the argument against it is if they went into the brother-in-law's house, and if this is him, and there is facial hair, but that's all we know for sure. I mean, we made a close-up shot of the one face, and that is definitely a mustache, a dark mustache above his top lip there. And in the other picture, it appears that there's facial hair down below the bottom lip too. If that were the case, Maureen, and they found a backpack, certainly if they found the face mask, I think we'd be talking about an arrest right now and not an appeal to the public to help us identify this guy, right? And what does it tell us, if anything? I'm going to start calling you Fitz too. I like that, Jim.
Sorry.
What does it tell us that, no, I like it. You guys have a history. What does it tell us that they haven't placed him under arrest and that they actually are issuing a general appeal to the public for any information? Does that tell us that it's not the brother-in-law? They don't think it's him?
I'll start here, Megyn. But we know, and Maureen knows this well, they've had these pictures for a few days. They didn't just get them this morning and release them right away. So we're talking about, what is this offender doing with these things? What is hiding them, destroying them? What could happen to, of course, Mrs. Guthrie? These are all kinds of questions involved in the post-offense behavior of this particular offender. And now that the stakes have been raised as of the last hour or so, that he now is aware of this, just like we are on this panel, that's when he has some decisions to make. Let's hopefully he plays it smart here. And if he somehow does have Mrs. Guthrie in his custody and she is still alive, nothing bad happens there. But yeah, if he had a mustache, and I won't go into whether it's the brother-in-law or not, can't rule anything out or anyone out. But if we're seeing a little bit of a mustache, two things: either it was planted there in advance and it as a decoy, or if it's real, it's come off as of about an hour ago. And that is something we should put out there Did someone change their identity? And we know this very well for these people that become suspects in cases. Is there anything they've done to change their identity? Obviously, did they leave town? Have they missed work last week? Have they missed other commitments where they should have been somewhere? And again, look at the visual representation of this person. It's not 100% clear. We get it on video, but tie in these other factors and put them in these individual silos in your life, and then see at the bottom if the grain all comes out. Say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I have a guy. He's kind of goofy, a buddy, and he was absent all last week, and he's always talking about he wants to make a big money hit somehow, and he carries his gun, and he always brags about it. And that's what this all may come together, and someone may be. That's what's going to go to the top of that triage list that Maureen referenced in terms of who the suspect is, if they get that kind of a call.
Let me, all week we've been having different experts with your kind of background on the show. One of them is Jonathan Gilliam. He just texted us his thoughts, and here's an interesting one, Maureen. He writes, he's not in any hurry, that's for sure. Right. And he had no problem walking right up to that camera, although it was really dark there, so he might not have seen it. But I find it very interesting how he turned around and went straight to something on the ground as if he knew it was there, which leads me back to the familiarity he has and how he got that familiarity. Perhaps it's one of the roofers or some other type of laborer. Perhaps this was a robbery and Nancy woke up. If that's the case, I would expect her body to be close to home. But if it's a relative, then the heat is getting heavy and they will break soon. He also sees gun on the waistband, mustache for sure. He says, you know what else this tells me? The Nest cameras are actually recording what you're doing, even when you don't have a subscription. There's a fair amount of Americans who are kind of freaked out about their Nest camera and their Ring camera after that Super Bowl commercial that tried to get us to get one so that we could find lost dogs. And then we all realized that we're all on camera all the time and somebody at Ring is watching it, which is creepy. But I think this point about, he's right, Maureen, how he turned around and went straight to something on the ground as if he knew it was there, that plant, the vegetation he picked up.
It was weird.
Can we see that video again, you guys? Can you play that again? Because it was like completely confident. He did a couple of bangs with the fist. Here he is. He's walking up for listening audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gentle bangs. Now he's cupping it. Couple more gentle, like taps almost. And he turns around.
Like, is it coming off
bends
easily?
Over for a second.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
he walks over
look
there.
Look what I found. This should work.
Yep. He bends down like he knew exactly, where he was going and then came right back. I mean, I don't know if that shows familiarity with the property. And if it does, it could certainly suggest he's just been there before. But it is interesting. He knew right where to go, Maureen.
Well, the backpack tells me he was not there to rob anybody. There's no room to put anything in that backpack. If you're going there to steal something, you're going to have an empty bag. It's like when you go to Milan or something, you're going to pick up some great Italian clothing. You're bringing an empty bag with you so you can fill it up.
Yeah,
he's not going in there with a jam-packed backpack. What could he, unless she's a diamond broker, there's going to be no room in there for anything.
International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold, so you too can have peace of mind regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to 989898. This was an abduction. That's what this was. I agree with you. This wasn't a burglary.
Or a
this
murder.
was an abduction. It was planned, and he knew about. Yes, that's the thing. So let's put kidnapping to the side for 1 second. If you want to go murder an 84-year-old woman, why don't you leave her there? Why? You did the mask, you got your gloves on. What is the point of, we think, taking her out alive? We only think that because there's blood. I mean, A, she's gone, so we know she was taken out, but B, she was bleeding. I mean, a corpse can bleed too, but she was bleeding, and the pacemaker was connected to the iPhone as of at least 2:28. It's possible he then killed her, or I don't know, because I think the pacemaker would show she had died prior to her pacemaker disconnecting from the phone. So I do believe she was removed from the home still alive. But I mean, I suppose it could be he didn't want the mess. He didn't want the evidence. And so his plan was, I'm getting her out of here and I'm going to go either kill her someplace else, or maybe it was an attempted kidnapping. And maybe that kidnapping is still underway. Maybe he got foiled by these charlatans who zoomed in trying to claim they were the kidnappers and is still planning on making a demand.
You'd think he would have left a note or some sort at the scene. That's the best way to prove you're the real deal as a kidnapper. Leave something at the scene. And you can guard it with gloves and keep your fingerprints, DNA off it. The Unabomber got away with that for years. Nothing was ever found on his documents. It was his writing, of course, that eventually got to him. And maybe that could have been a clue for this guy that he was concerned about. But yeah, and with an older woman like this, why does he need a gun? Did he really think he'd have to shoot her or someone else? I would also say that if you're going to leave, if you're a stranger, you'd be more inclined to leave the body behind because no one's going to connect you to it. If you're someone, and I'm not going to say family, but if you're somehow connected to that house, you may then have more of a reason for taking the body. So there'd be no other indices of death or indications of death in that regard. So we just don't know. And of course, we never can rule out the
there's something else here, Jim. Let me jump in. There's another video just dropped, and we're going to put it up. Hold on a second. I'm trying to see it. Okay, it's on the screen. He's walking up
with his head down, weirdly,
kind of casually. It's just a few seconds. It's hard to see. He's kind of just sauntering up there very casually. He does have an interesting kind of walk.
It's almost like even with the mask on, he didn't necessarily want the camera to look at him directly. So he kind of puts his head down, but eventually you can see it. That alter, he modified himself in that regard.
Yes.
But this is like, keep my head down for now. There's nothing on the floor that I think would be attracted to him.
Yes, guys, Debbie Murphy just said she sees something flashing in his mouth. And I thought I saw that before. Yes. I don't know if you can see it.
It does look like a light. He has
it looks like he's got a light in his mouth.
Oh, a small flashlight. People sometimes, like even cops, will hold a flashlight in their mouth like this so they can see
it looked
where
like
they're
that
going.
Here. Look here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look at this one.
It's hard to tell if it was
You
a
see?
reflection or not, but we can see the beam on the other one you just showed, Megan. You can see the beam hit the ground. So that is a flashlight.
Yes. So why does he have the flashlight in his mouth as he's walking up? His head is, for listening audience, now I can see it clearly. He's coming onto the property underneath the archway that brings you onto her patio. His head is down. He's looking down almost like he's forlorn. But obviously it's a disguise to keep his face from looking into the cam. And you can see in the first frame of it, as he's walking toward, there's a light in his mouth that is on and then it's off. And then he walks up and then it comes back on because we saw it earlier in a still shot of him messing with the Nest Cam. But why when you're approaching the home,
because it's pitch black,
have the flashlight in your mouth? Because
it's pitch black out there. And you want to keep your hands free. And so you put the flashlight in your mouth. It'd be interesting if they found a flashlight in there, like in the flurry of activity. It may have been left behind. And now that's another thing from these videos that has the wheels in my brain turning. One of them is touch DNA. They're going to be looking for touch DNA everywhere on those plants, because even though he's wearing gloves, he's wearing leather gloves, not sterile, latex gloves. He's wearing probably his own leather gloves, which will have his DNA on them. They're going to be able to go to the housing of where that camera was, where he wrestled it from the housing. And this is the break we've been waiting for.
Well, and
Do you think, Maureen, that they have other images that they're not releasing? Because what we don't see in here is him successfully get the Nest Cam down.
Yes, I would think they may have more. Well, especially since we've gotten 3 iterations in the last 3 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if they had more. I remember, if you recall, the camera that the ERT members got off the roof of the house apparently had some sort of solar panel attached to it. So that might be something they're trying to retrieve information from as well.
That one, too, could have recovered images. They got that one later in the game. It's possible they're searching that one right now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.